homecoming stories. My this was going to sound really strange, but my main memory of homecoming, well, two things: the pep parade, and I think I was probably 9 or 10, and we were over here by the firehouse watching, um, and a car, some random car comes running like right through the parade. Didn't realize it was, there was a parade going on. And I don't remember the guy's name, the cop, but he was a big guy, and he was trying to run after it. And I'm like, there's no way. And everyone's like, you're not going to catch that car, because he was running up Central after the car, and he could barely. After a few weeks, he was like, I forget what's his name. My mom knows his name. So, but with the homecoming, I remember going down. I like the tilt-a-whirl, the one that went around and then the little cars went around. And then Homer Fire Department had that booth where you put a quarter down on the color. And then the wheel they had colors, different colors, and there were 3 in a row, and some would be all red, or like 2 red and a blue. So you put like your quarter down on red, and a red came up, you got 1 red, and 3 came up. I remember we went down there for hours. I was fascinated. I guess that was my early gambling days. I loved doing that Homer Fire Department game. And then I remember the merry-go-round always being in front of Watts, which you used to go to Watts pretty much every Sunday after church. We had Watts. My grandmother worked at Watts for many years. In fact, her pictures, I just saw a picture up there. When she retired, Bob and Jane gave her a card. She never had to pay for another meal the rest of her life when she retired from Watts. Her name was Bee. But we'd go to Watts, and Jane, when I was young, and my grandma was working there, Jane would like carry me around and hold me and stuff. There's pictures of me with Jane. And Leota Pipkins, who was one of the pie makers. There's pictures of me back and sitting in the kitchen with, flour in my hands because I'm helping Leota with the pie crust and stuff. 4th of July, I remember going down and watching the fireworks, just, being a kid watching the fireworks and all that stuff. What was the other one? Oh, the ice cream festival. You know what? I don't have a lot of memories of the ice cream festival. I do remember once, I think I went and got like a leather, when they were popular, those leather bracelets everyone was getting. You get your name engraved in something and they snapped. I think that's probably about it for the ice cream festival. Yeah.
Any Christmas memories?
Other than the snow riding, yes. I wanted that when they had those little helicopters, those battery-operated helicopters going around in a circle. I wanted one of those, so I got it. I would always get up early. I was very sly. I would find a straight razor blade, and I would slice the tape and then slide the packages out and then look. So I knew what it was. Mine, not anybody else, just mine. And then I'd put it back, so the next morning at Christmas, I would know what was toys and what was clothes. So my mother was, after a few years, she goes, how do you always, he always knows, because I would leave the clothes packages for last or not at all. And I finally told her that I unwrapped everything. So this one morning, it was a Harry Canary helicopter, I think. They had a Scooby-Doo, a Snoopy one as well. So my dad had to put it together, and my dad took him a while to put it together. When he got it together, I remember I started up and I went flop, 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 flop. And my mom goes, well, it's flopping around like a dead chicken with its head cut off around the thing. My dad, my God, so he picked it and he threw it out back in the snow because it took him a while to put it together. It was pretty something. Yeah, we had fun Christmases. I remember the church would go around Christmas caroling and things like that. Yeah, good times. Kind of like Hallmark movie.
I guess switching gears back out to LA.
I think one of my favorite was I was doing plays. A lot of the actors would do plays on these little theaters, little 80-seat theaters, and try to get people to come watch them. Well, I was introduced to Louise Fletcher, who she won the Oscar for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. She was Nurse Ratched, the mean Nurse Ratched, right? So, and she directed this play, and we became friendly, and she would have me and my mom and dad. My mom and dad would visit me, went over to her house for dinner, and all of these things. Well, one of my favorite stories is, if you remember the movie, there's a scene where Jack Nicholson chokes her, tries to kill her, strangles her like this. And so we were talking about that with a group of people one night, and she revealed how that did that. It looked so real, you really thought he was choking her. And so I said, well, how did you do that? She said, well, it was the director's idea. And so they choreographed it. So what happened was Jack came over and grabbed her neck, right? And then she put her hands on top of his. So here's Jack's hand and her hands like this. So rather than him just squeezing and squeezing, what happened was she was trying to keep his hand on her neck, and he was trying to remove her hand. So he was trying to pull his hand away, and she was trying to keep it in place. So you still have the tension, like that, but she didn't get hurt. There was no gripping. She wasn't trying to pull it off. So you still have the same look, and it still looked like intense, but there was no danger. Stuff like that. I did a play once, and my good friend, Jeremy Renner, who was in The Hurt Locker and all these shows, we were scuba diving buddies, actually. We would go scuba diving on Catalina Island. But we were doing a play, and in the play, near the end of it, my character starts to walk off stage, and his character comes, he's going to shoot me in the back with a gun. And we rehearsed it and said, okay, if the gun, sometimes it's a prop gun, sometimes it doesn't go off, and it's live theater, you can't go back and take two. So I said, so what are we going to do if the gun goes off? He's like, you know what, let's just choreograph something. I'll just come and I'll come and I'll pretend to tackle you, we'll go down, and then I'll hit you in the head, behind my head, so it looks like I'm getting hit in the head. But I said, great. Well, we were going on for 2 months, and we went on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings, and nothing happened. The gun had always gone off. For one night, the scene came, and I heard click, click. The gun didn't go off. And I hear, damn it! And so then I hear, so I know he's coming, and he came and he tackled me, and we did the thing, but I got my knees got skinned up,